Hey everybody, this is Flavio Romeo, and on this episode of the Towncast, we had the opportunity of talking to Debbie Provencher, Executive Director of Lighthouse Pregnancy Resource Centers in Hawthorne, Patterson, Wayne, and Hackensack. And over the 20 years that Debbie's been the Executive Director, they have helped thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are faced with pregnancy. Some don't know where to turn. They help them with counseling and coaching and just being there for them when they need it most. All right, enjoy the episode, everybody. So I don't know, for those of you that used to listen to the podcast, when we first started 5 years ago, by the way, July 26th was, because this is going to come out afterwards, was our 5th anniversary.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, it's very exciting. 5 years.
Wow.
So first time we were here, it was just the audio version, so I'm glad that we're able to do the video version. About 5 years ago. So I am, right now, we are at the Hawthorne Lighthouse Pregnancy Resource Center. And I'm with Debbie Provencher. I keep wanting to say Debbie Hazen. Debbie Provencher, who I've known since high school.
More than 5 years.
Yeah, a little bit more than 5 years. So we graduated the same high school.
We did.
You're a little bit younger than I am.
Oh, much younger.
Were you class of 80?
I was class of 81.
81. I was class of 80. Well, shout out to class of 81. I know many people in that class because we were so close. And so we're here at the Lighthouse Pregnancy Resource Center, and I remember when you guys first built this building.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 5 years ago.
Or took over the building, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to get more information and find out more about what you guys do here.
Sure. Yeah.
So tell me, what is the Lighthouse Pregnancy Resource Center?
And we can call it Lighthouse from now on. We've started calling it Lighthouse. It's a little easier to say, shorter.
Yeah.
So Lighthouse is a nonprofit organization. We are faith-based, but serve everyone, every background, every walk of life. And we're here really to serve people facing unexpected pregnancies. And really women, men, teens, and sometimes their loved ones and family members. They're facing a pregnancy they didn't plan on. We have resources, totally free, confidential.
100% free.
100% free and confidential to guide them to life-enhancing choices.
Right.
For them, for their loved ones, and then to support them on often on their pregnancy journey and their parenting journey, to help them succeed in their relationships, in their parenting, and just as people all around.
So if someone unexpectedly is pregnant, whether
Mm-hmm.
they're married, they're not married, they're single,
right, young,
yeah,
older.
Young, old. I'm sure you've had.
We see everything. See everything.
So if they go online, I know that there's a website, right?
Yes. Yeah, lighthouseprc.org is the website to find out about our services.
So if someone either goes on the website or they give you a call, like you said, everything's confidential.
Exactly.
What would be the process? So if someone calls up and says, I think I'm pregnant, I'm not even sure, I'm scared.
Right. So, and they can also text. I think texting is a really popular way people find us. We also have a 24/7 nurse chat.
Is there a number?
Someone can reach us. Yes, I'm going to put a number. I'm going to give you that number.
Okay, we'll put it right under here.
They can text any hour of the day and start to set up an appointment with us. We take walk-ins. We do take walk-ins, and our hours for each of the centers is on that website, lighthouseprc.org. But if you make an appointment in advance, we can usually do it when a sonographer or nurse is available to do an ultrasound to medically confirm pregnancy.
So you have those on?
We do, and we try to cover as many of our open hours as possible, but it's not always possible to have medical staff there. But most of the time when someone thinks they might be pregnant, isn't sure, maybe they've taken a pregnancy test, because you can get one even at the dollar store, but that just says the hormones of pregnancy are present. It doesn't say it's a viable pregnancy. It doesn't tell them how many weeks along they are.
Oh, is that right?
Exactly. So, you're like, oh, I have a positive pregnancy test, but you really still don't know much about it. And
so there are a lot of false positives when it comes to that.
There can be, or someone could be miscarrying,
And not know it.
but still have the hormones of pregnancy, because you don't know whether your levels are going up or down from a urine-based pregnancy test. So, and when someone is not sure what they're going to do, if they're going to continue the pregnancy, who they want to tell yet, we encourage a medical confirmation of pregnancy, and that's something that we provide at Lighthouse at no cost.
And you do that for free.
We do that for free. Many even of doctors and hospitals in the area, some of the clinics know that we offer that service, so they send people to us because that confirmation.
Is that right?
Yeah, they do. Because especially if someone maybe is uninsured and they're going to be signing up for charity care, to have a confirmation of pregnancy, it really saves the resources on the other end of them doing a whole appointment with someone who's not in fact pregnant. And so.
Well, then they have to pay for it.
Exactly. So we get a lot of recommendations from medical providers in the area. I even had someone from my own church, and she shared this story, or was willing to share this. She was facing a pregnancy, and her husband is a small business owner. They were between health insurance, and she didn't know what to do because an appointment would be really expensive, wasn't sure where to go. And her midwife actually, she knew about Lighthouse from me. In fact, they probably supported Lighthouse, but her midwife said, "Have you ever heard about Lighthouse? You can go there. They can confirm the pregnancy for you." And, it was an unexpected pregnancy. She had several children. She was sort of thinking of turning the corner, to a different time of life.
Yeah.
And so it was something she appreciated, confidential support at the time, and a place to share, emotionally what was going on. And
so do you have are there counselors that people can meet with?
We do. We have a professional counselor that oversees our services, but and a few other of our staff are on their way to becoming professionally fully licensed counselors. But what we offer is peer counseling, or parenting coaching, we call it at times. Someone who's really trained in how to help someone. It's sort of a crisis intervention for an unexpected pregnancy. Also a lot of our staff have been in the shoes of the person we're serving.
Right.
We have a sonographer who had 2 abortion experiences in her life, and that difficult experience really led her to want to help other women. And so she, unrelated to Lighthouse, she put herself through school to become a registered diagnostic medical sonographer.
Wow.
But said, "I want to serve at a place like a pregnancy center." And, she also went through, we offer healing after an abortion experience. We call it abortion recovery care.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and it's emotional and spiritual, not physical. But, people don't realize it's a loss. And, they have a lot of feelings. And sometimes they numb those feelings right away, but at some point in their life, they often look back on that decision, what could have been, would have been. And there's not a lot of safe places to talk about. Actually, you've been talking today, right, about pregnancy, unexpected pregnancy, abortion. There are not a lot of safe places, non-judgmental places to talk about this issue. So I really appreciate
confidential, safe space.
Confidential, safe. You think that your family, you think that maybe your church friends have their mind made up, or your neighbor has their mind made up about this issue, and you want to express your sadness or your uncertainty. And so Lighthouse is also that place. Over and over again in our reviews, we hear I felt heard, I felt listened to, I wasn't judged, I wasn't sure what to expect, and I felt so comfortable coming there, because it's personal. It is very confidential until it becomes visible, right? And we're thankful actually that many of the women and the men, the couples that we serve, later on are willing to share their stories.
So you do have men also?
So yes, we have some men on staff. We have men who volunteer.
I feel like there's a stigma, not just with women, but also with men that go through either an unexpected pregnancy. They don't know what to do. Maybe they don't have the money to, and so.
Right.
And I feel that it's more, and maybe I'm speaking from my own experience. It's more difficult for a man to reach out to seek help or to seek counseling or to seek something.
Yeah, I mean,
or they don't know where to go.
There's a lot I could say about that in the sense, yeah, I mean, in the sense that men, right, aren't always encouraged to share their feelings, to kind of like be tough about it, and so what they might be thinking is hard to express. So a lot of times the programs that we have a program called Birth of a Family, where men and women, parents can come together. I mean, they could be married, they could just be trying to co-parent a child, but they come and we have couples who serve as mentors who are married, and they just naturally, informally form relationships each week, and they're, we're outside our cafeteria area and they're eating food together and they're just forming friendships. And a lot of the men say, like, I didn't learn growing up to express my emotions. My father wasn't part of my life, or he was, but he was not emotional. He wasn't involved in my care. And so the men start to learn to express that. I would say there's also something where, because legally men don't have a say in whether a pregnancy is terminated, often our culture says it's the woman's decision.
Right.
But, sometimes we get to talk to youth groups and student groups, and I say, if you just say it's your decision, like, that puts more pressure,
100%.
right, on a woman who may be feeling nauseous. She may be feeling, very, hormonal, emotional, obviously, scared, worried, concerned, and then to just say it's your decision puts a lot of pressure on that person. And we have someone on our staff who, is now, her daughter she's actually a grandmother from that child, from that unexpected pregnancy many years ago, because the father, stood up and said, we can do this together. And so I think, I don't know where these statistics always come from, but I've heard something as high as 60% of women really care what the man involved in that pregnancy, how he feels, and and if he would say, like, we can do this together, or at least I'll support you, they'd be more likely.
It also helps them not to feel alone. So they're looking for someone to lean on. And
I mean, often he's the only other person maybe that knows right now. And there are a lot of people who feel pressured into a decision, one way or the other, because of that partner, because of that man, when it is, I think both people should be involved in talking about that, but then she has to live with it, right? If she's pressured in a way that's not her choice, that's hard, because she's going to still live with that. And sometimes, whatever, actually we've seen more, an abortion decision can break up a relationship, because afterward, if there's regret, then there's blame. There's like, well,
it's great that you offer that after that decision. People to come in and just help heal.
Yes, and we serve a lot of people. They're making this decision. We believe every life matters, and so we think life is a good choice. But we serve a lot of people who are making that decision, feel there's just no way I can continue this pregnancy, or get their pregnancy confirmation, so at least they have the information of how far along they are, and that helps them better make a decision. And if they choose abortion, sometimes they call us because they need to talk to someone. They experience like emotions they didn't expect, and they feel safe coming here. And also sometimes future pregnancy, they come back, and that feels good, that they feel this is a safe place. No matter what they decide, this is a safe place.
How many? So when did Lighthouse first open?
Okay. So Lighthouse first began as an organization called Life Advocates, and that was back in 1984. Wow. And really, very simple nonprofit. As the story goes, it was a grandfather who was looking through the phone book in the yellow pages. You and I
remember those yellow pages. Remember you used to get the book like this?
Yeah, that book, you could sit on it if you had a child wasn't tall enough, right? Or flatten something with it. You never knew where to put it in your house when it was so big. But in those yellow pages, he was looking, and the word abortion starts with A, and so we're not moving around enough in this room.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah. So I'm gonna. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Wow. Okay.
Oh, there you go. There
okay,
it is.
That's interesting. You're gonna have to ask staff to stop by.
And that saves money on the lights.
Right. Well, that's what the rocking chair is for. We have to move
right. On the rockers.
So in the rocking chair in the children's room. But yeah, he was in the phone book looking for something, but he came across the A section and saw these very large ads for abortion. And it just made him sad to think that women who might be alone, uncertain, unsure of what to do, were only being sold an abortion and not being offered help. And, he felt, I guess, whether you'd call it a calling, a burden, something, on his heart. And he talked to his pastor, and his pastor said, well, maybe you're supposed to do something about it, not someone else,
right.
but you. And so he got some friends together. And that's how it started.
Wow, just the granddad.
Yeah, and so I think they were in Allendale. I'm not exactly sure because I was asked to get involved about 20 years ago this summer. I met with some people. Thank you. Just met with the board. It was a small board of directors, like, a nonprofit needs, and they were going to be looking for a new executive director. I didn't really know anything about it.
Right.
And I was, a mom with 4 kids in the thick of school and PTO, and
this is exactly what you needed.
Yeah, exactly what I needed. A nonprofit
like
to run.
Yeah. Wow, 20 years ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago. And so, actually, being a person of faith, I spent many months praying about it, because I was working part-time and finding that hard to fit in with kids, and my husband pastors a church, and logically I was going to say no.
Yeah.
But I was praying about it, and
so did that grandfather.
Exactly. He was going to say no too. He did not expect to get brought into
logically,
this.
Yeah,
logically, wow. Right? Like, it would be easier if someone else did this, and I really didn't know much about it at all. But I had a pregnancy scare in college, and in those days, I guess about the same time that Lighthouse was being formed 40 years ago. It took 3 days to get the results of your pregnancy test. You would go to the health center.
They didn't have
not the instant kind of things they have today. It's not even 3 minutes here when we do a pregnancy test.
3 days.
3 days. And I
so
was away at school.
With that
so I'm living with that, not telling anyone, not wanting anyone to know. It wasn't really a relationship I saw continuing, and just kind of thinking, I didn't think I could tell my parents, which later I learned my mom probably would have been understanding, but at the time it doesn't feel like that.
It doesn't feel like anybody would be.
No. And I thought, oh my goodness, I was away at school, but I couldn't see going back to the church. I was raised in, pregnant and not married. And so just those 3 days, I didn't want to tell good friends, so it's very lonely. I wish I had known about a place like Lighthouse at the time.
Which is exactly what you do.
Exactly what I needed, and what we're here for, someone to think through.
So you have that
so
experience
I have that,
to understand what
I have that feeling,
through.
What the fear feels like, having a safe place with, to talk about it. And flash forward when I got asked, I was praying, thinking, what do I do? And I happened to be doing a Bible study on the life of Abraham from the Old Testament, one of the patriarchs of the faith. Yeah. But the start of Abraham's story is Abraham being told by a God who he barely knew to leave everything familiar and go to this country and to this place that God has for him and eventually for the people of Israel. And he said yes, like inexplicably, illogically. Right. He says yes, and so. I guess at the time it felt very much like that. Like all of a sudden I wanted to say no, but I felt like I was supposed to say yes. Yeah. And I was alone in that office. At the time the pregnancy center was renting space over on Ray Ave from the Ray Ave Church. Sure. Long institution in the community. Right in
Hawthorne, New Jersey.
Yeah, Hawthorne, New Jersey. And we were in the back of the church building, along with I think a Girl Scout troop, was renting space there too. And I showed up for work the first day, not really sure. There were a lot of manuals of what to do, and just started showing up one day at a time. And I just think from a very a lot of God moments. Just people came along to do our computer work. TNT Max was a new kind of computer technology support company at the time, and a cousin of mine owned it, and he started helping. We had one computer. We didn't realize the hard disk was broken. That was really hard. And then somebody gave me a laptop. Someone from my church gave me a laptop. Right. And then someone, started doing our graphic design at no cost. And it just, people. And then the first person I hired had wanted to be a nurse, but ended up, she was a great like assistant, and then just such a great, warm, welcoming center manager. So, that just happened, and so we were able to move out of temporary space into a nice location that we leased on Lafayette Ave. Not this one, a smaller one, but and we just started, advertising our services, and then we added medical services, and and just so many volunteers. Last year, we had probably close to 200 volunteers in some capacity. I mean, we have probably 50 people that serve regularly, come to each of our centers every week for a shift to provide parenting support. And
you do all the training.
We do. We train. There's an orientation. There's a training. Then there is like on-the-job training, but there's also
so let me ask, if someone does want to volunteer,
yes.
Do they just call you guys? Do they go online?
Yeah, there's an email. They can email. The easiest thing to say is email volunteer@lighthouseprc.org.
Okay.
Lighthouse
We'll
PRC
put that
for
right
Pregnancy
under here as well.
Resource Center. So they can volunteer, and there's like all levels of volunteering. There's a community service group that comes every few months as a group, and we have so many clothing donations that come in every week and that need to be sorted by size, by season.
Right. Oh, so you take donations too?
We do. We take material donations. I can link you to that, but we take baby clothing. In fact, right now we are very low on summer, like spring, summer, could be summer, fall, boy clothing from 6 months to 2T, size 2 toddler.
Okay.
Very low on that baby clothing, and it can be gently used or it can be new.
Right.
And probably now is a good time to shop sales, Old Navy, Children's Place, things like that have children's clothing. It could be baby sleepers, it could be outfits, little pants, shirts, and things like that. But we are very low on baby boy clothing. So our Hawthorne headquarters is where we accept donations.
Okay.
Because it's larger. We have a warehouse in the back. We have a place with a washer and dryer and storage bins, and we accept all the material donations here. Tuesdays during the day, we actually take them in our back driveway, bigger items, and you can find, I'll give you an address that you can, a website that people can go to, our friend's website, and find out what items we take and don't take. But if it's smaller bags, if it's diapers, wipes, a couple bags of clothing, they can come to the front of our Hawthorne headquarters, really Monday through Friday, like 9 to 4 every day.
And I'll put the address on. It's right here on Lafayette Avenue in Hawthorne. And from the humble beginnings of Grandpa that did that, so now you have locations in Wayne, Hackensack, Patterson, and of course this headquarters in Hawthorne, New Jersey. And so what I was hoping is that we could take a little tour.
Sure. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, we can go for a walk.
Let's do that. All right. What is this room?
This is our ultrasound room. It's one of two, our medical suite, and it's our room where our ultrasounds are done by our sonographers and nurses. And it is really where we can provide pregnancy confirmation for someone. And
sonographers, nurses, they're all registered nurses.
Yes, registered nurses. Yeah. They've gone through, a specific training to become certified or competent, I would say, in limited obstetric ultrasound. But then we also have sonographers, and they are trained. They went to school. They are registered diagnostic medical sonographers.
And you are?
I am Jan Rowland, the nurse manager here. And
nice to meet you. And I know that I was told that you were going to prep and show us some of the...
a model scan. Yeah. It's not anyone served in Lighthouse.
Yeah, there's my name is here, but there's
that's not you.
That's not me.
Okay.
That is not me.
There's no confidentiality.
Yes, yeah. But this was a model, and we just numbered them. So, but this is a 9-week, 4-day baby, and
you can tell when you do the ultrasound, you're able to tell the approximate age of the fetus?
Yeah. Really? It's at this age, it's accurate to maybe within 3 or 4 days.
Really?
We do a measurement of the head to the tailbone, and that's what gives us a pretty accurate. Now, if this was a 6-week baby that is only a few millimeters big, it would be even more accurate.
Oh, really?
Because the baby grows so fast in those early weeks.
Yeah.
By the time, this is 9 weeks, 9.5 weeks, still pretty early. I do have some...
Could you tell if it was a boy or a girl?
No, too soon. And we purposely do not look for the gender.
Yeah.
Because otherwise the line would be down the street.
Oh, yeah.
And
Right.
we want people to, after we confirm their pregnancy, follow up with an OBGYN for
Right. You're
prenatal care.
They're just here to know
Yeah.
if they're pregnant or not. Well, this and all of this is free
It's
to people
all
that.
offered free of charge, and and people from every walk of life are benefit from it. We have people without health insurance. I had I think I might have told you the story already. Someone from my church without insurance needed
Yeah,
a confirmation. We have teenagers who are afraid for anyone to find out yet that they're pregnant and need to find out are they in fact pregnant and how far along. We have women in their 40s who didn't expect to be pregnant again this late.
Yeah.
And so they are facing a pregnancy that was still unexpected, and they need an ultrasound to determine how far along they are.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Dan. I appreciate it.
Okay,
And
thanks
let's
for
take a look at the
coming.
rest of the
Okay.
building. All right.
All right.
All right. So through the hallway. So
So
little
this
waiting room?
is a little waiting room for men, because often the women coming in for an ultrasound are bringing, it could be a husband, it could be their partner, and the ultrasound makes it more real what they're facing.
Yeah.
And so, we have a waiting room out front. Today it's accepting donations, so it doesn't look as calm and peaceful. But we also created this little calm space so that men who are waiting to go into the medical room can sit and be peaceful as they're waiting to see what's happening and what decision they're going to be part of. So we tuck this away for men, and then we have a diaper closet over here because we are really big on support. We know if someone wasn't expecting this pregnancy, they're not really prepared. They might not have the resources they need. And
I think a lot of young moms don't even know what they need.
right, yes, of course. Like that's part of even the parenting education we do is we have a parenting program that really goes from what is an ultrasound. It starts, in the very beginning, and it goes all the way to, toilet training, disciplining your child. If someone wants to continue and learn all of that, we're here.
And again, it's all free. They can just
all free, and provided by people in the community, like those listening. The diapers, last year we distributed over 114,000 diapers. 114,000 diapers. And each pack of diapers that went out also went out with a pack of wipes. Our wipes are over here. We try to do kind of like a week pack. And so we have a program that's called PREP, and that stands for Parenting Readiness and Enrichment Program. So we did that because when we called it parenting support, people thought, I have to have the baby first. But we're like, no, actually it's easier to come to Lighthouse.
No, PREP makes sense.
For PREP before the baby's born, because then it's a little harder to get out of the house with the stroller and the car seat and all of that. So we have, if someone comes to us during their first trimester, or they're a student, they're a young person facing a pregnancy they didn't plan on, they can participate in PREP, which means twice a month they can come to Lighthouse and have a support appointment with one of our peer counselors or staff to talk about parenting, or maybe emotional support, or relationship support,
or what's going on with my body,
support.
why
what's
am I
going on,
yeah.
And we have a whole educational curriculum, but sometimes it's just, how did it go when you talk to your parents?
Right.
What happened when you went for that job interview? Sometimes it's helping, we have people that help prepare for job interviews and that. But when they come for an hour long, it's about an hour long parenting appointment, they get 10 points to choose baby and maternity items, which we'll tour there too.
Nice.
But they also, toward the end of pregnancy and until their baby turns 1, they get a pack of diapers, a pack of wipes, twice a month. On those 2 appointments. They come every other week. And we have formula. We do breastfeeding lessons because we know it is best and cheapest if the person is able to breastfeed. But if they're not and they choose not to, we also have formula. I think we do have a need right now for Gentle-Ease formula. I can, if someone is interested. If they get even sample packs at the hospital, sometimes people will donate those, and those will help someone. Baby food, like the cereal, baby cereals or baby food in jars, we provide those as needed. But the diapers and wipes, we promise that's a commitment of ours. And then the baby clothing, and car seat and different things like that really are requirements to raising your child.
Well, and for anybody that's listening or watching that wants to donate, you can call up and say, what do you need?
Yes.
Where's your biggest
Yes.
need right
Yes.
now? And then we want to help fill it.
We have no burp cloths.
No.
Imagine that. That's a thing. We used to just use like cloth diapers, but burp cloths are a thing. We give each mom. We have we'll take you to our new mom's basket room. It's
Yeah,
a
that'd be
place
fun
to visit.
Yeah.
We give every mom just a basket full of baby supplies that are new. So yes, calling us, finding out what are the things you need right now.
That's awesome. All right, let's check out more. This is fun.
Okay.
All right, so where are we now?
This is our educational lounge. It is a place where our peer counselors can hang out in between appointments. We have resources like, how to be an involved dad, how to build respect and trust, how to make your home safe, what to expect, while you're pregnant. We have a lot of our brochures from what's called an Earn While You Learn program that, again, also is online now. A lot of the lessons takes someone through, how to have a healthy pregnancy, how to prepare for childbirth, what do you need,
Right.
How to give up smoking if that's something, and to have a healthy pregnancy, how to childproof your home, how to do infant massage to stimulate early childhood development.
Yeah.
So this
So many
room
things
has
you
all
don't
those
think
resources.
about.
Right, so many things, and kind of fun. We know that pregnant moms are hungry, so we have a bunch of snacks, and also if they have other young children with them for the appointment, those animal crackers and goldfish can, keep them, and we have waters and coffee and tea that we offer just so people are comfortable and the moms feel a little pampered as they get a chance to decompress a little bit from their week and relax. So our two counseling appointments, our counseling rooms. These are our counseling rooms where someone would meet, and so just a comfortable place where someone could meet and talk about what's happening with their week, or give resources, educate about adoption if someone's not certain what choice they're making about their pregnancy. Answer their questions about pregnancy, parenting, abortion or adoption. And we don't arrange adoptions here at all because we want to stay
But you give them the
neutral,
guidance if they do want to.
But we give them guidance. We can connect them with an adoption agency.
Sure.
Educate about, open, closed, semi-open adoption, what that means, the choices that they have to make regarding adoption, and still support them through their pregnancy.
Amazing.
So just try to create comfortable for that.
All right, so this is the prep shop.
So this is the prep shop, and this is where the parents that are in our support program, or parents to be who are in our support program, can come, and they can use the points that they earn through their appointments to pick out anything that they would like or need to care for their child. Top row are winter coats, and it's summer right now. It's a little hard to think about wearing a winter
exactly.
coat.
I don't even want to look at them.
It's not long, right? Our weather changes so quickly. And very seasonal, so kind of fun. I love watching this wall to see what season or what holiday we have.
So cute.
More clothes than I ever imagined, even for St. Patrick's Day.
Really?
Yes, St. Patrick's Day, all green. Right now we're all bathing suits. Halloween costumes, we got them. What else? Any season. Christmas. We love to celebrate fall. Baseball season, when it's like opening day, then you see all the baseball, football, uniforms,
and again, call the number and say, what do you need? What kind of clothing do you need?
Exactly.
Where are your biggest needs?
Exactly.
Because it must change so rapidly.
Yes, it does. I think sometimes girl winter clothing. So this is a fun place too. I loved finding these. Kind of fun, right? Just to keep everybody positive. And, we have, the amount of volunteers we have ladies that take home all the onesies and just package them up so there's a couple looking sharp.
Wow.
That's great, and so those are the boys' onesies, and then we have girl
and all the socks,
girl onesies and sleepers, and
look at the socks.
Just cute. So amazing. Seen it all. It just really feeds into my pun passion. But yeah.
And are these the baskets that you were talking about?
So these are the new mom's baskets. And we'll go downstairs and see behind the scenes with them. But when a mom or a couple has their baby, we give each new parent or set of parents a basket to welcome that baby, and it's all new items. A lot of the items in this room are gently used, but when we have new items donated to them, a lot of them go into these baskets because every mom wants new things for their baby. And so they're girl, and then there's boy, and we put ribbon on top, and that really celebrates. And there's all kinds of baby lotion and diaper rash cream and a pack of diapers and
again things that you didn't think you needed but need.
But you need all of this. And plus more.
And toys
we
and
have the
car seats and
extra saucers and bathtubs.
So any kind of donations, just give them a call and find out what they need. And I mean, how, kids grow out of clothes so fast.
They do.
That they're usually, especially when they're little, they're not, playing in the mud.
Right. So a lot of them, unless they've spit up, right, if they didn't have a bib on, but I would say too, like, look at the clothing and picture yourself handing it to someone.
Right.
Because we do want people to feel valued. Not just the babies, but we want the parents to feel very valued and cared for here. So we do have a lot of our volunteers, what their job is going through the donations to make sure they're not ripped, that there's no stains on them. We do have a washer and dryer. If we need to, we can wash and dry the items before we hang them up, but we box them up. In the back there's a whole warehouse area. You can kind of hear the sounds of all the volunteers, and they are putting the clothing donations into bins, and then they'll drive them to Patterson. And Patterson has a prep shop a little bit smaller than this. Hello. And Wayne's is a little bit smaller even because it's a medical office. And then Hackensack has a very well constructed closet, and they just have bins with season and boy or girl and sizes, and the moms and dads just pick out what they need.
That's beautiful.
And feel cared for.
That's awesome. Look at that. Better clothes than I ever had when I was a kid.
Right?
All right, so tell me about this room.
So it was the last space in the center that we renovated and decorated, and it's extremely special. It's our memorial for the unborn. And we have a wall that's been created with customized nameplates that can be ordered. We even have a scholarship. That's actually, the nameplates have to be purchased, but we have a donor who has donated money for that too, for whoever doesn't have the means to order those nameplates. And it is a way that people can honor lives that were here too briefly. And that loss could be through abortion, miscarriage, stillbirth, an early infant loss. And there is a way to honor, if you scan over there, you'll see people put their own sentiments, sometimes names, sometimes no names. They can leave a memento in honor of that child, because there's very few, when a loss is so early in someone's life, there's very few tangible reminders of that person, very few ways to grieve with a tactile experience. And so we wanted to give a place to honor lives, but also to help the parents heal from that loss. So this was created, actually one of the women who went through our Forgiven and Set Free abortion healing program took a big part of designing and equipping this room, and we're so grateful. And we had people donate crosses and crucifixes as we were making it, and so there's even a wall with that to put that hope spiritually in God and the healing. I love the verse that God is close to the brokenhearted. And this is really a place for brokenhearted, but also for hope, that those lives are created for eternity.
And you have an event every year honoring.
We do. October 15th is recognized even internationally as International Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Day, to let people know how common miscarriage and pregnancy loss is. It's not something people talk about often. But it happens often. And, as people struggle with infertility, pregnancy loss is often part of their journey. And so we have a ceremony in our headquarters, October 15th.
Right here in Hawthorne?
In Hawthorne headquarters, October 15th, no matter what day of the week it is. The ceremony starts at 6 p.m. And we usually end before 7 p.m. with a candle lighting ceremony that really joins a worldwide wave of light to just mark the beauty of those lives. And we invite anyone from the community to join us. And it could be
So anybody, whether
any
they've
type.
come here, they
Right, they don't have to have been served by Lighthouse.
any kind of
loss.
Yeah.
And you know, we have people that come every year, and we have people that come 1 year, and they get that benefit from the chance to either maybe sit in silence, or there's usually a time of open sharing if anyone wants to do that. And I've just seen such a bond grow between people, no matter what their experience of loss, that loss of the life they imagined and had seen as a gift for a brief time.
Well, I try not to get emotional. I can tell you, we'll be here in October because we had a miscarriage years ago, and he would have been Benjamin. So we'll be here.
Mom's basket.
Oh, so this is the new mom basket room. Oh,
Yes,
look at this.
yes.
Wow.
So those baskets get made here. This is where the baskets get assembled. And this is often in January. We have churches and Christian schools will celebrate life by donating the items for our new mom's baskets. And, you know, I love how, I would say in the 20 years I've been at Lighthouse, these homemade,
I know, they're
basically
gorgeous.
these homemade blankets. I was looking for the hand knitted, but this is also homemade. But we just have homemade blankets.
Who makes these?
You know, the Oakland Care
volunteers.
Center, Preakness Senior Center,
Wow.
church groups. I know we have a knitting group at my church. And then individuals. I had a woman come in one time with a couple blankets. And as we got talking, she started to share her story of being a teen, a young adult, and driving a friend for an abortion.
Right.
And later she just, felt the sadness of that. And she wanted to do something positive. And so she knits these blankets, and she would pray for other moms facing, pregnancies they don't feel prepared for, and just say a prayer for them and send love their way. And that's, these blankets are so
amazing,
so unique, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just
everyone is
looking
different.
at these. I had someone from Texas, send some when she was visiting her sister. The person is actually a monthly financial donor. We call them Lighthouse Keepers. And she also knitted some blankets and sent them up.
Beautiful.
So just amazing.
So many different ways to volunteer and help. And the amazing thing to me is that this whole thing, Hawthorne, Hackensack, Wayne, Patterson, all run by private donations and the help of people that just care and want to give.
25 staff, it's 25 staff salaries, 4 locations, all the operating costs.
Amazing.
Yeah, the cleaners, sterilizing, all that for the ultrasound program, and medical staff, and all of that is paid for by private donations. Every year, have to turn the calendar page.
I know, it's like here we start all over again.
Start all over again. So we certainly accept financial donations. They always fit. They're never the wrong size.
Yeah, that's right.
But up there, you can see these are all Lighthouse babies. And another way that people serve is by professional photographers taking
pictures.
We set up
beautiful.
photo sessions. Sometimes we go to Gosselbrook Park.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Or church properties and things like that, and get some photos, or in our centers take photos of the moms and their families, and then if they give us permission, we can share them with our donors.
Yeah.
Again, we have that the challenge that everything we do is confidential, so we can't share a lot of stories. But when parents are supported and feel like life has moved on in a positive direction, they want to share their story,
and they feel it could
others.
help others. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So back
Wonderful.
behind you is a cool story. Our nurse manager was doing an ultrasound one day and came across triplets.
Wow.
It was the very first set of triplets. I think she
is that right?
diagnosed.
So
This is the mom.
Okay.
This is the mom of the triplets, and she's still wearing the hospital bracelets. Wow. And she came in for her 3 baskets, because 3 baby girls equal 3 baskets. And then during COVID, a photographer and I went house to house, prearranged appointments, and we took portraits, on people's porches. And those were the girls, and they sent us their first birthday picture with all 3 of them eating cake.
How old are they now?
they are probably, if that was 18 months during COVID, right? In
Oh, so they got to be like
they have
5
to
or
be 6 or 7.
Yeah,
About 6 years old
wow.
now. But she was pretty calm when our nurse visited her. She said, it's only hard when they all cry at the same time.
Yeah, you think? It's
Right.
hard when one cries.
Exactly. So she got her 3 baskets. But we appreciate all the donations help those baskets. I mean, we thought that would be a great way to celebrate the lives born. But unless we have donations, those baskets, wouldn't be as full.
Yeah. Beautiful. I'm amazed at how much you offer, not only moms, dads, families, grandparents, parents, and then what you did with the loss.
Yeah, the pregnancy loss, the wall to remember.
And just, I mean, there's so many ways that you can lose a child, but to be able to honor that and offer all of this for free, and thank God for all the donations and all the people and the organizations that donate and do everything. Because I remember in our church years ago, we had one of those baby bottles. So we had a baby bottle thing, and once a year, we'd fill it full of change.
And still, we have about 60 churches that take these baby bottles every spring, Mother's Day to Father's Day.
Yeah.
And we're just tallying it all up.
That's awesome. And listen, if anybody wants, can they stop in and grab some?
Yes, they can grab a baby bottle. We have cards. We have baby bottle cards if they think that's easier than collecting them up. That has a QR code to donate online and to also see a video where you can actually hear from moms that were served by our program, which is really the best thing too, seeing firsthand.
Well, in the testimonials, Debbie was just reading me a couple of letters, and to hear the testimonials of moms that, on one side struggled so hard with the decision of what to do and where to go and who to turn to, and then to hear this side of it, and to hear one letter from the child's perspective, a 6th grader, and to be thankful for Lighthouse, that if it wasn't for Lighthouse, he wouldn't exist.
Actually she was a she, but she said, my mom gave me the wondrous gift of life. Gianna wrote as a 6th grader, she said if she never had me, she might have stayed on the dangerous path. Her mom was in kind of a reckless place because of pain in her own family life, and she said maybe she wouldn't be here today alive if she hadn't gone through the pregnancy. Grace was felt in such real ways, and she said her mom is her hero, and she thanks Lighthouse for coming into her life and hers even before she was born. But I see that tension in Lisa and Gianna's story, who I can say their names because they've shared at our banquets. Gianna and Lisa were actually at the grand opening. They took part in the grand opening ceremony for this headquarters, and what a remarkable young woman. She just graduated high school.
Wow.
So you're not just saving and supporting the lives of babies. You're really making a difference in the lives of the next generation. This year I got so many Facebook messages, texts from people whose sons were graduating 8th grade, high school, that people we were able to build into. And at that moment of fear is just such a bad motivator.
Oh, it can grip you.
Any decision you're making, if it's under fear, you're usually angry, scared, you're not thinking long term. And I think that's what happens a lot of the moms I've served. They were so afraid. I remember a young couple, they had driven 2 hours to an abortion clinic, and they said just thought their lives were going to end. Literally, they thought their lives were going to end. All they thought was the negative things running through their head. And someone just stopped them and said, do you know about this place, Lighthouse? It wasn't any of our staff, but it was someone outside, and they said, why don't you go to Lighthouse and just confirm your pregnancy and just
talk to somebody.
Slow down, talk to someone. And they seeing that ultrasound of their little baby's heart pumping on the screen, they came to one of our banquets about a year or 2 later, and they said their son was the best choice they ever made. That's the difference between fear and getting some support, getting to a place where you can think long term, you can take a breath and think, what do I really want my life to look like a few years down the road? What decisions will I look back and be proud of? And so that's what we get to be a part of, what our donors are. We have monthly Lighthouse Keepers. Little shout out to our Lighthouse keepers who give monthly. We have someone who comes with diapers monthly and donates. Doesn't want
you
to
have
do
testimonials
things.
on your website too.
We do.
So I encourage you guys, go to lighthouseprc.org.
Actually, if you
right?
want to be part of our support team, you can go to friendsoflighthouseprc.org. So that's our support. Friends of lighthouseprc.org is a way to learn how to volunteer, to make those material donations.
Awesome. Okay.
The baby bottle, you know, we happen to do them a lot of times Mother's Day to Father's Day because people think, but we have bottles available. We had a Knights of Columbus doing it in July. Exactly, Thanksgiving.
Birth of Jesus, Christmas.
Exactly. January, when you take all your decorations down, put out a bottle instead. No, I don't know.
Well, so again, we talked last time, it was 5 years ago when you first opened. And so I went online and I did a little research, and I noticed that, and I wanted to bring it up. We're not going to harp on it, but I was stunned. But there's a local congressman here in northern Jersey that was on a mission, a real mission. And I was listening to some of the things he said. He called Lighthouse brainwashing cult clinics, healthcare hoax clinics, claimed that there were no licensed professionals, which obviously we meant Jan.
Right, not true. And I tried to tell him that day.
Put lives and safety at risk, which I don't know about you guys, but I felt no risk.
Right.
I felt no danger. It's amazing. It's taking away women's rights to choose, and you brought it up earlier that if a woman opts to have an abortion, or she opts to put the baby up for adoption, or she opts to keep the baby, those are all choices.
Right, she has choices, and coming here really expands the choices, because often a person facing a pregnancy they didn't expect things like, I don't know what to do. I couldn't possibly continue.
What are my choices?
Right, and so at least coming here educates on the choice of abortion. First, when they're thinking abortion, there's the abortion pill now is used in more than half, maybe as high as 60-70% of all abortions are through the abortion pill.
Wow.
That people get online without even seeing a doctor in person. And so we can help someone at least think through that. Are they taking
it without even knowing if they're pregnant or not? I mean, is that...
They are having sometimes they're having a face-to-face telemed appointment, but that's not a physical exam or a medical confirmation of pregnancy.
Come to a professional.
And they don't, it's only approved for use up to 11 weeks, so if they don't know how far along they are, and a lot of times people aren't sure, so we can
11
provide.
weeks, it's like the size of my thumb. Based on those models.
Unfortunately, people don't know that they're going through that experience on their own without a medical professional nearby.
Yeah.
And I've heard teenagers talk about knowing a friend who did both a surgical and an abortion by pill, medication abortion, and that was way worse. That was just an anecdotal story, but just because there's a lot of pain and you're on your own, again, it can be very scary, which you're not expecting. You think pill sounds easier. But, we educate people. We don't provide or refer for abortion, but we do want to educate people, because we know that, again, when you're afraid, any of us could think, I just can't possibly handle this. So we want to come alongside. We want to educate about all of the options. We want to help them understand, adoption, and that's an option throughout pregnancy, and even, you can't really legalize an adoption until a few days after birth. So that's something to think about and to be at least informed on, and then to know that there is support for your pregnancy.
That's what I love what you guys do is no matter what question you're in and where you're at, whether you're just a single mom, a married couple, it doesn't matter.
Teen mom.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Knowing that there's a place where they can come, where there's going to be no judgment, no ridicule, no one's going to be spreading your name and pictures on social media.
Right. It's confidential.
Yeah.
We have support for teen moms. We have a program called Young Live. So if you know a teen mom, really from teenage years up through about 21, we have a Saturday once a month, like a club meeting, almost like youth group.
Nice.
Because you're a teen mom, you don't really fit with
your
friends. You don't know. And then how do you talk about the challenges you're facing, right? Trying to do your homework while also trying to take care of a crying baby, and and even to share the joys, right? You don't have any friends to share those milestones of infancy, and So our Teen Mom program, Young Lives, is available, and we'll put up a number to get in touch if you know someone who is a teen or a very young mom and needs support. We also have a program, Birth of a Family. You don't have to be a Lighthouse parent to come. We have eight-week sessions throughout the year on Wednesday nights, and it allows you to come get a meal, and there's childcare, and then you have discussions on what co-parenting could look like, what healthy relationships look like, what marriage could be. You know, we make marriage into a very expensive reception, really, but marriage is really more about the commitment day to day of raising your children together, giving them a stable place. And a lot of the parents we serve did not have a stable home environment, so they get to see our couple mentors. You know, they're like, you've been married 30 years? What is that like? How did you do that? You know, what's that like? And they find out, you know, it's hard. There are times that it doesn't feel great, but it's a commitment, right? Yeah. So we have those programs. And then, I didn't even get a chance. There's a lot to talk about. But in our Patterson Center, we have that partnership with Renew Life. And I know you met Marisol.
Yes, we had Marisol
on. Marisol.
Renew Life Center. And listen, go back to our episode, scroll down, and you'll see the interview with Marisol.
Yeah, Marisol, during COVID, she felt led to write this book, Beyond Her Yes, that talks about really the unique partnership between Lighthouse as a pregnancy center and the organization that she founded that offers transformative educational programs and empowerment programs. Now they even have an entrepreneur's workshop. If you've gone through Getting Ahead and moved from a survival mentality to an achievement mentality, and maybe you've gone through their Jobs for Life program, now we have moms that are becoming small business owners to provide for their family.
She shared one story, and go back and listen to that episode, but she shared one story where there was a single mom that came in and was looking for help, and went through the program and was learning different things that she could do, and met with the coaches that helped her on interviews and all this other stuff, and now she's very successful. She's a multimillionaire, and she's now donating back to I mean, so many incredible stories.
And that makes it possible for our Lighthouse moms and dads
a great partnership.
to really thrive, not just survive, not just say yes to another baby to take care of, another mouth to feed, but really to maximize their own potential and use all their gifts and talents and get firm footing under their family.
Well, we're gonna put all the resources at the end of this, and again, I encourage you guys, go to lighthouseprc.org
for services
and
friendsoflighthouseprc.org for ways to help other people. And one more, I know you love promoting local businesses, right? So we have just an informal partner called Sanducci's Trattoria in River Edge. Wonderful Italian food. And there's a flyer on our friend's site, and every Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday this summer, if you show up with some kind of a coupon, some kind of a paper that says Lighthouse, they will donate half of what you spend, half of your meal. Who does that?
Really?
They're just such firm believers
and they donate back to Lighthouse.
What Lighthouse does and in valuing every life, that they will donate half of what you spend. Takeout, they have a pizzeria, pizza truck, pizza or a full Italian meal.
So listen.
So take this flyer with you.
So either go online, pull the flyer down, or if you're watching this on your phone, just take a picture of that and show them that. And
show up and just say, I want my meal to support Lighthouse.
I mean, you had me at Sanducci's.
Oh, it's great.
2023
their bruschetta, so good.
Really?
So good. I mean, everything is so good on the menu, but
Can I keep that?
Yeah, you keep that, please.
All right, so again, lighthouseprc.org, friendsoflighthouseprc.org. Find out, and I know oftentimes, and I say this a lot, whenever we're working with nonprofits and, we talk about ways to donate, it's a very difficult time right now financially for many, many people. If you can, donate some time, come down, help them. You see all the work that goes into, taking the clothes, putting them in the baskets, sorting them, emptying the trucks of all the donations and going through everything. There are always ways to donate time. So if you feel moved, go to friendsoflighthouseprc.org and find out how you can help, or just pick up the phone and call and say, how can I help? What can I donate? What are your needs? And
we're so grateful. We've really only been able to grow and serve more people because of the people that are listening, because the people in our local churches. And
yeah, and it's testimony to what you guys do that, you know, you've been able to, you know, not only this facility, but in Wayne and in Patterson and in Hackensack. And we just pray that you just keep growing.
Yes. Amen.
Thank you
Amen.
so
Thank
much.
you so much, Flavio.
Thank you. All right. Be well, everybody.